Viscous, grab your rolling papers.
Smoking. Whee! Yay!
You're coming with me.
I love surprising people.
What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of The El Pearly Show. Today, we are back with another episode of the Smoke Spot series. This time, we are returning with Valve's newest release, Deadlock. Deadlock is a bit of a strange game. It's a MOBA, which stands for Mostly Only About Ass, referring to how every character in this game is built like a Barbie doll. Holy shit, look at her 2-inch waist. Where do her organs even go? What's that? I'm showing footage of the wrong game? I'm making an absolute what out of myself? You have my son? So I have been informed I was showing footage of the wrong game, that being Marvel Rivals and not Deadlock. Despite the games looking very similar, they're actually very different. I've been thinking of making a basic tutorial for people that want to get into Deadlock but aren't really that good at the game, so let me know if that's something you all would be interested in. I'm still not very good at the game yet, and the Smoke Spot video won the poll, so I'm gonna go ahead and be making this one first, obviously. A little bit of housekeeping before we get the video started, but if you guys would like to support me and keep these videos sponsor free, you can check out my streams on Twitch, occasionally on YouTube as well. Donate to me directly on Ko-Fi to be featured in the credits of all upcoming and future videos. Or you can donate to my shitty Redbubble merch to support me and spark up new and interesting conversations with people in public, which you should do. It's good for your soul. Number 1 on the list of best spots to smoke in Deadlock is going to be the hideout. On top of being one of the first things that you'll see whenever you'll launch the game, it's also just a very cozy environment. There's a few different spots here that I think would go pretty hard, that being sitting by the fireplace, looking out the window, or watching matches on film over here. We can even hang out with the shadow people. Who knew that smoking in Deadlock would be just like smoking in real life? The second half of the hideout, the atrium, is also pretty cool, but I don't think we can smoke in here on account of all the animals. Maybe we could go to the sandbox, but that place gives me backrooms vibes, so I'm gonna stay away from it. Moving on to the next Deadlock smoke spot, we're gonna go one that's actually in the game and not the main menu equivalent. And when and where would the other best spot to smoke in Deadlock be, if not on the zip line at the beginning of the obligatory pause at every match? Seriously, what better thing do you have to do while your teammates argue because somebody won't give up their lane so daddy can lane with his Discord kitten?
Do you understand why I had to punish you earlier? Yeah?
I do wish the game was a little bit better at automatically putting you in lane with your duo, but then it would ruin the conversations that you get to have while you're paused. It's crazy because the longer the pause, the more you really get to feel like you're knowing your enemy, and then you have to go back to fighting them. It's like the World War I Christmas truce all over again. The next Deadlock smoke spot on today's list is going to be Spawn. The spawns are going to differ a little bit based on whether you're playing Archmother or Hidden King, but I can't really make a distinction on which one is going to be better to smoke in. The Archmother spawn is a lot cleaner, a lot more serene and graceful, almost like a temple. Meanwhile, the Hidden King spawn seems befitting of smoking inside, gnashing on the carpet. See, in the Hidden King spawn, you even got a couch that looks like it would have pit bull hair all over it. Don't forget about the microphone gangbang over here for, evil flubber? Seriously, if we have any Deadlock lore experts that want to fill me in on what the fuck is going on here, I would really appreciate it right now. Regardless of which team you're on, spawn is usually the safest place in a MOBA and thus the best spot to spark up, regardless if your teammates say that you're AFK and throwing the game. Yeah, maybe if AFK stands for absolutely fucking killing it at rolling up this weed right now. As far as throwing goes, why don't you go outside and throw the football around for a little bit, champ? Me and your mom need the house to ourselves for a little bit. Kabow, kabang, kabluey. One satiated housewife later, we are going to move on to our next Deadlock smoke spot, which is this room that has the 2 center sacrifice machines and the 1 creep. I'm still not super tapped in with Deadlock, so sorry if there's a name for this room that I'm not aware of. I did all the wiki surfing that I could. This area does show up on both sides of the map, so don't worry about missing out on this one. It would be nice to spark up with the placeholder creep, but alas, he has only ever known anger and lashes out at you as soon as you get close to him. I suppose you could just stand outside of his range and maybe let him participate in the hotbox via contact high, but he's a feisty little fucker and might nip you, so sorry buddy, you gotta go. I gotta do my gambling uninterrupted. I'm so close to a win right now. My machine is gonna hit any second now. Trust me, I know my machine. Overall, I'm a big fan of the double center room. I would say to watch out for the enemy team invading, and also be careful not to burn the wooden building down with your Zaw. Another smoke spot that is probably less safe is going to be the teleporter. Teleporter smoke spot may be a stretch, but what else are you supposed to do while you sit still for 5 seconds? Knowing all the multitasking you're supposed to do at a high level in this game, it feels like torture to sit here and do nothing for 5 seconds. Plus, what if this teleporter is like Star Trek teleportation and my consciousness ends and I fucking die when I get teleported? I want to go out doing what I loved. Chiefing loud and fucking bad bitches. Okay, I didn't do that second part, but still, dying is very scary. A couple of quick honorable mention spots to lighten up the mood. First up, we have the cult room. Okay, maybe this isn't lightening the mood at all, but I figured this one deserved a mention, since if the Dead Money video is anything to go by, you people love smoking in absolutely fucking horrifying places. I think with the creeps cleared, this one isn't so scary, but with all those googly eyes looking at you, it might be a little bit weird. Or maybe you'll vibe with it. I don't know. Shout out to JB for the suggestion on this one. Our next quick honorable mention is going to be all these tunnels under the map. Seriously, there is so much shit down here. I was stunned the first time I discovered this. Like, what do you mean you have an extensive underground area that can only be accessed by 5% of your cast? Early access game, by the way. Just think about all these areas next time somebody complains about FPS drops in Deadlock. Truly, Valve has done it again. The only characters that can even access down here are Rem and mo&krill. Nobody who can access Deadlock sewers is entering the kingdom of heaven, and that extends to the people playing these characters as well. Especially not the people playing these characters. Side tangent, that Bible verse about the streets being paved with gold always fascinated me. Not because of any theological reasons, but because it really speaks to the sensibilities of its intended target audience. Yeah, abstaining from sin and being rewarded with a city of gold and pearls may be worth it to a 3rd century Babylonian, but what about a 21st century Zoomer? I think if Christianity amended the Bible to say, the kingdom of heaven will get your parents back together and let you have one last game of Call of Duty Zombies with your siblings, then Christianity numbers would skyrocket. I don't know if I would consider our next spot an honorable mention or a full-blown spot, but I have to bring it up either way because I need answers to a question. If I smoke in one of the juke rooms with one of the shadow people, would the enemy be able to smell my Za from outside? Yoshi, please respond. I can't play Deadlock a single second longer without knowing the answer to this question. Regardless, the shadow person hiding spots, which are actually called juke spots according to the wiki, are going to be a spot that I think you can sneak into and have a little smoke during your Deadlock game. After all, there are a ton of these around the map. I feel like I very rarely see these juke spots fool anyone, but maybe that's a self-report on being negative 10,000 elo. I guess those drugs really did fry my brain after all. I'm just gonna come right out and say it. The next smoke spot is gonna be inside of Viscus's cube. It sounds like any character who gets put in the cube gets a full body deep tissue massage and spa. Am I allowed to compare it to heroin? Okay, there goes my monetization. I'm not sure how smoking weed while encased in a vat of deep sea creature goo would work, but worst case scenario, we can eat an entire bag of gas station edibles before we go in the cube. Just don't let Viscus see you eating the gummies. He might get the wrong idea, you know, seeing you eat the gummy squares and everything. Moving on to the final smoke spot for today's video. I normally don't like to rank these because it makes the videos a little bit harder to make when I have to rank them, but I think this is a situation where we've saved the best for last. The final smoke spot in today's video is going to be Rem's room in the hideout. This is a pretty well hidden Easter egg, so a lot of you may not know this, but you can actually access this room by going through either of these tunnels in the hideout and hopping above this furnace looking thing to come back here, and once you get to the end of these corridors, you'll see the Rem room right here. There's a unique song that plays when you sit in this room, and I actually really love it. I'm not sure if we can smoke in the hideout anymore knowing that Rem is sleeping up here. Hopefully he's a smoker because the contact high would be going insane up on these vents. Who am I kidding? This little fucker probably does blanket hot boxes in his Harry Potter room up here. This is a very cool little Easter egg. Very cute, very neat. I do think it's funny that they decide to add stuff like this while the game is in active development. Like, yeah, let's give Rem a piece of real estate with a library and a record player, but Holliday's gun is still gonna look like some shit out of Lego Star Wars. Anyways, that about covers it for today's video. If you enjoyed, make sure to drop a like, join the Ko-Fi to be featured in the credits of all upcoming and future videos, stay frosty, and see you next time.